Alright, what is going on, guys? My name is Leon Master. Welcome back to another Overwatch League news video, potentially. And currently, earlier today, there's been some leaks dropping on Reddit, but this is also a guy who has leaked Iris going to Atlanta Reign. So he's gotten stuff right in the past. So if it wasn't from that, I probably wouldn't be talking about this. And he put out some more leaks that has happened on the Seoul Dynasty Gallery, which, keep in mind, take this as a 50-50. We've gone over the Seoul Dynasty Gallery numerous times on this channel. We've gotten some things right, some things wrong. You know, the K to Dallas Fuel was right, and Jake to Atlanta was wrong. KSF to Dallas was wrong. There's been some right and some wrong when it comes to the Seoul Dynasty Gallery, so take this with a pinch of salt. But with the guy getting Iris right to Atlanta Reign previously, I'd say there's a potential of this being true, and some of the leaks kind of look reasonable. To start it off, though, here is the pictures that was put in the Seoul Dynasty Gallery. I couldn't really find what said what. I know the one on the left, on the bottom, I think that one says Pelican to Guangzhou Charge, which that is one we're going to get to that later. But the first one I want to talk about is Nero to LA Gladiators. That says it somewhere in there. I think that's the top one. But Nero to LA Gladiators is a huge one. Nero's been unfortunately unlucky so many times this season where, you know, he was ready to play. He did play for a little bit, then COVID came in, then more visa issues came in, and then all this stuff really happened to him. And I think Guangzhou Charge knows that he wants to play, and they know how good Nero is. So it's looking, according to these leaks, that Nero's going to the LA Gladiators, which I think is interesting. I think it's a good move for him to go to a different team, but I think it's interesting for LA Gladiators to pick him up. And I know I've talked about him going to the LA Gladiators, but I was more talking about next season, because I know Gladiators is for sure going to make some moves next season. And when you look at their roster, they have Kevster, Jaru, Mirror, and they also have Birdring, which is already 4 DPS players, and they're about to get a 5th one, and they haven't even used Jaru that much this season. They've used them occasionally, but like not a lot. I want to know where this is going, because they have Kevster, who has potential to be a super all-star kind of player. And if they're going to sign Nero and instantly put him over Kevster, that's going to suck. So Kevster, if this is true, Kevster's most likely going to get traded next season, unfortunately. Because I think Nero is somewhat better than Kevster in some heroes, like the Genji maybe. And also, no more ping issues really, because Nero is in the NA. And we all know how good Nero is. He's a great player. So I think there's potential for Nero to start over Kevster in some maps or some games with his Genji play. I can see Kevster still coming in for a rotation potentially. If there is a double hit scam meta coming up again, you'll probably want to put Kevster and Birdring in, because Kevster has a great Tracer and Birdring has a great, you know, Ashe and everything else. So this is an interesting move if Gladiators is getting Nero. Unless they are releasing someone like Jaru, then it makes more sense, I guess. Because I definitely see him keeping Mirror. They've used Mirror multiple times so far this season. They've used Kevster mainly. They haven't really used Jaru at all this season. So I can see them releasing Jaru and then signing Nero to the team, which I think it's great for Nero to go to a different team again. And he's a great player. Hopefully he has a lot of success going to LA Gladiators if this is true. Then on to the next leak. It is Neptuno to the Paris Eternal. I think you can see a little bit of a pattern here. There's a lot of Guangzhou Charge making moves. Now Neptuno to the Paris Eternal, I do gotta say it does suck for Neptuno to be on the bench. But I definitely see this as a reasonable trade to the Paris Eternal, because what if FD God wants a break here and there on those certain games, or the team just wants to give him a break and lets him relax, and they sign Neptuno for that. And I think that would be a pretty good move if they wanted Neptuno to get some playtime in over FD God, if FD God ever wanted to take some break off. If they were going against a super weak team like Boston, Justice, and maybe some other teams like Houston Outlaws, they'll put Neptuno in. I don't know. But I think this is reasonable. I think Neptuno will still get a decent amount of playtime if they go against weaker opponents. And if they go towards maybe a mid or high table team, they'll still put FD God in to, you know, give it their all. But I think Neptuno to Paris Eternal is a reasonable trade. Then on to the next one. It's Pelican the Guangzhou Charge, which I think is kind of reasonable as well. Pelican has had a lot of success so far in his Overwatch career. He recently won on O2 Blast in Overwatch Korea, and he's a bit of a flex player. So look at his Wikipedia profile. It says he plays Genji. So me instantly looking at that makes me assume that he's going to start over Eileen potentially and play the Genji and also flex a little bit since they're getting rid of Nero. I think it would make sense for that. I didn't watch Pelican a lot, but I know Pelican's a great player. And even Sephi, who's the head coach of Atlanta Reign, commented on this and said this is a great move and he will see a lot of playtime for sure on the Guangzhou Charge. So I think Pelican going to the Charge is potentially a good replacement for Eileen, if not Nero, because that's what the spot he's really subbing in for. So all around, I think this one is a good move for the Guangzhou Charge to make, and they'll get a lot out of Pelican. Then on to the last one, nothing much to really talk about here. It is Vigilante going to Triumph, which I think this one is potentially a good move. I've seen Vigilante here and there, and I think it'll be great for the Triumph. They had a rough contender season for sure, and I think this one will help them in their off-sport position for sure, because I think this guy is a really good player, and what I've seen from him, he's definitely gonna do a lot of good things on Triumph. I do think these moves definitely have a lot of potential for sure. That is all the leaks, by the way, and there's a lot of decent moves here that seem reasonable with Nero, the LA Gladiators. This one is reasonable if they release Jaro probably, and then they'll get Nero and they'll play a spot, and they'll probably find a rotation with Kevster, which I think is all around a good thing for the LA Gladiators. And then also Paris-Eternal getting Neptuno, reasonable as well if this is true. So FD guy can get some rest time. And then Guangzhou Charge, getting Pelican, I think this is also a good move to, replace Eileen, or at least get a rotation in, which definitely fits the Guangzhou Charge. And I think all around, these leaks seem pretty reasonable. Then on to the last thing to talk about, we got Houston Outlaws. You guys may already know this, but if you guys did not see, Raucus has retired from the Overwatch League, going to play Valorant. The tweet says this: "Hey Outlaws fans, it's a sad day in Houston Town, or H-Town, as we bid farewell to our number one. Please ante up and wish Raucus a thank you worthy of his 3-year run with the Houston Outlaws. Once an outlaw, always an outlaw." And Raucus had a pretty longer talking about what he's going to do next. It was obviously Valorant, and there's a huge leak right now in the Valorant scene that he is going to be joining FaZe, or at least a rumor for sure that he's joining FaZe. And if you guys don't know who's on FaZe, it's Corey, Zachary, Baby Bay's being leaked as well to join the FaZe clan, and now Raucus. So it's going to be a full Overwatch team with someone else. I think it's Marved on the FaZe clan. So the team's looking very Overwatch-like, and I think for sure every Overwatch League fan is going to support FaZe clan because of everyone that's on that team. I think he's going to have a lot of success. I've seen him play a little bit of Valorant here and there, not a lot, but he definitely can handle the top players for sure, and he's had a good run. He's always been memed on a lot. I've sure memed on him, but I never really made fun of him that much. I always knew he was potentially a good player, and he kind of showed it at the end of Season 2 in the World Cup, and also a little bit of this season when he did play. So he ended up doing a decent comeback. His Season 1 was definitely rough. I think everyone knows that. His Season 1 was definitely rough, but either way, he was a good player. He has a good background. He has a good storyline. So all around, a lot from Raucus. Anyways, guys, that's going to be it from me with the leaks potentially happening and everything else. There's another video I got to make right now with the Dallas Fuel. You guys may already know what this is, but I got to make one. Don't forget to join my Discord down below. Also, follow my Twitter and my Twitch. And don't forget to hit that bell. And don't forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe down below. And I'll see you guys on the next one.